Well, let's pick up on all this with our transport correspondent, Tom Edwards. Tom, first of all, how common are tunnels as a form of environmental protest?
Well, there's a long history of tunnelling protests in the UK. I've been looking on the internet today, and it's very easy to come across some of the guides. This one's by Disco Dave. It's something of a Bible in the tunnelling world, and it gives you all kinds of instructions and on how to build these tunnels. And one line in particular stood out for me. It says, "Few defence tactics can compare with a protest tunnel. Dangerous, laborious, and time-consuming. Tunnelling is the ultimate and desperate tactic." Well, this started as a tactic back in the 1990s, as Gareth mentioned there, and there were very basic tunnels at the Newbury bypass protests. They became more advanced on the A30 protests down in Devon and also at Manchester Airport. And what it did was it made household names out of people like Swampy, but also crucially, it changed public opinion. Now, more recently, in 2017, we have had tunnelling protests down in Surrey at Cold Harbour. There was protests there against fracking. The difference here with these tunnels that we've got around Euston is these are in central London, and they obviously have a whole different kind of risks involved.
So do protests like this have an impact?
Well, the tunnels and the direct action in the 1990s, that did actually change transport policy, and road building was reduced massively, and they also changed public opinion. So it is probable that it could have an impact, but I'd say it's unlikely, because the reason is HS2 is a long way now into its construction. We've seen these huge construction sites at places like Denham. They're just about to put their tunnel boring machines through under the Chilterns. So they have spent billions of pounds, and even though some people in government don't want it, I think they are going to go ahead. And there are lots of protest camps like these down the line. I don't think this is going to be the last kind of tunnel protest that we see on HS2 as a project.
And briefly, Tom, have HS2 said anything?
Yeah, on the site on the Euston Road, HS2 won't comment on the specifics, but because they haven't taken control of the site, that's going to be for an interim taxi rank. They've got a statement, though: safety is our first priority when taking possession of land and removing illegal encampments. Also, we've had a statement from the British Transport Police. They've said it was aware of the tunnel. More broadly on the scheme, HS2 says this scheme is about creating extra capacity on the railway and delivering low carbon journeys. But environmental campaigners, as you heard there, they think the cost to the environment, particularly about habitats, the cost is just far, far too high.
OK, Tom, we will leave it there. Many thanks indeed. Our transport correspondent, Tom Edwards. Turning to the